now allows doctors to kill its New York State now allows doctors to kill its citizens. Kathy Hochul was pretty excited about it. Watch her announcement.
We are now going to be making medical aid in dying available to New Yorkers. I believe we've crafted an elegant solution to a problem that people have fought for. My last thoughts were sitting in the Catholic funeral, and I heard the priest talk about being called home, and I realized we're not talking about ending life, we're about dying early.
We've crafted an elegant solution to the problem. Hey, I've got an idea. We can kill you. This idea came to me in church. Such a great time here at the funeral. How can more people experience this? New York State now allows doctors to kill its citizens. Kathy.
All right, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Unto like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. They ain't hiding it no more. Well, they haven't been hiding it for a while. They haven't been hiding it since 2020. 2020 literally has been, what's the word I'm looking for? They turned the page of how things are done. In other words, they became more bold with certain things. Okay? They wanted it 2020 for everybody out there. You remember what were they truly trying to push? Control, narrative, the fear tactic. Remember, 9/11 was all about fear. Fear and giving out your rights because of giving up your rights for that fear. They ran that fear again. All right. Now, that fear came with what? A thing to escape. Death. So here you are, you fighting to survive. But now, that's over. If you want to die now, you can choose to die. It's like, I believe they have a, what's the thing called again? If somebody's drowning, normally they'll wave their hand for help. now they can wave you off, and you could get sued if you save that person. So this society is becoming a straight up deaf society. Just like in Canada, another thing that was being, see, a lot of things that took place, a lot of times we forget things and it just kind of hit. So if a person has a child, they don't want their child, they can, even at to the point where the child is born, they can take that child's life. In Canada, I think it's in Canada, you could bring the child, a brand new baby, like you bring the child like it's some sort of garbage or something like that, and then you put it by a door, one of those places, and they take it. You have in Sweden, I believe, they introduce the what's it called, the death pod, where it suffocates the person to death in case they want to give their life up. And if you watch the movie Soylent Green with Charlton Heston, and that, you know, the film, what they said at the end, he was like, Soylent Green is people. I forgot how it went. Matter of fact, let me just get that. I'm saying, you know, a lot of times I just, okay, I'm gonna do a show, boom. What am I gonna do a show on? Just do the show on something, and then all of a sudden everything just comes down. Like everything start clicking. You know, because it's a spirit. I just wanted the main point of the movie.
Get to the exchange. You gotta tell them they're right. But let's take care of you first. Huh? You don't understand. I've got proof. They need proof. I've seen it. I've seen it happening. They've got to tell people. Tell them what? The ocean's dying. Plankton's dying. It's people. Soylent Green is made out of people.
1973, if I'm not mistaken. This movie came out. The same thing that they're talking about now, it was talked about back then. And what proves it now, the FDA approved fake meat, right? So KFC, Tyson, I didn't say nothing about Purdue, but Purdue, Tyson, and all these other companies that was giving out meat, they was been giving out fake meat for years. We all got acclimated to it, to the fake meat that they've been given. We just couldn't know. We all taste the meat that you buy in the store, and you're assuming that it's real. A lot of it has been fake meat. So now they just blatantly telling you straight up that you're gonna be eating people. That if you want to go to the spiritual world, you could go on your own, no charges. You could go out there free.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger. I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent Breed is people.
And this movie is based on a dystopia future. I believe it was 2025. Overpopulation in the cities, getting rations of food. Certain days they get the particular protein, which was Soylent Green, and that protein sustained the poor, the very rich. The very rich purchased an apartment, and it came with furniture, and it was not furniture like a couch, a bed. Nah, the furniture was women. All right, women prostituting themselves to the rich. They had ACs and everything like that, where the poor people was sleeping on steps and so forth. So what they was trying to say, that the world be overpopulated. The world be overpopulated, and the decency for people to do is to deplete themselves. This is the formula that the Esau has been put in the minds of the people. You have college-educated fools that go out there and promote this madness, and they will tell you the studies and so forth, being a parrot to the elites, and having people believe that they have to deplete themselves in order for humanity to survive. All right? So we live in a culture that promotes death. That's all it ever has been. All right? It always promoted death. We live in a death culture. Job, was it 14? No, Job 10 and 21. It says, before I go, whence shall I return? Even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. A land of darkness as darkness itself, of the shadow of death. And what is the shadow? You cannot avoid the shadow. Shadows is something that it casts on somebody as a relief. We was going into this yesterday at camp. All right. So just the way you can't escape your shadow, you cannot escape death. Death is everywhere. From adultery, to homosexuality, to the food that you eat, to the water that you drink, okay, certain things that people do all equals to death. The medications you take to maintain yourself, death. Um, the list goes on and on. Everything equals to death. Worshipping different gods here as openly as it is. I was watching something on YouTube earlier, basically Hollyweird. It says Hollyweird something. So it was just given. In the beginning, it sounded correct. It sounded good, but in the beginning, it basically said that witchcraft was heavily accepted in the 1980s. I don't know how true it was when Reagan was in office, because Reagan was a celebrity. He was an actor, a B-level actor that became president, and his wife was an open witch. All right, for a land that's supposed to be about Christianity, a land that's supposed to be about God and so forth. At the highest office, you had the biggest witch, and she had astrologers and so forth, and that was heavily promoted. And so it was kind of going back and forth until a time in the 70s, in the 60s, 70s about films and how Hollywood was trying to put certain things. But needless to say, it gave an idea how America is, how the American spirit has been. It's been about witchcraft, all equal to death. Okay? So now, if you want to do a service for your fellow man, and why they doing that for? Why they putting these options out there from 2020 on now to do that? Because they want people to do it on their own. All right? That's what they want. They program enough people to really believe that you harming the environment by passing gas or eating, drinking, or just being alive. You, the average person, is doing that. Well, they're the ones that are responsible for the changes in the environment, changes around the world, making things a lot harder for everybody to live, where the Lord gave this out for free. We live in a country, not a country, in a world that's for free. We didn't have to pay for the world. The Lord put us in this world. But the people that's in power don't deem it so. So they're the ones that broadcast this shadow of death over all people. All right. It says without any order, and where the light is that's darkness. So there's no order into this place. Once you believe that is order, it's all equal to death. What drives the person? People don't people are do things just for the excitement. They do things for the thrill. All right. Just to get by. Everything about this place has been about this death. We live in a deaf culture. Black culture is deaf culture. American culture is deaf culture. All right. People can talk shit about Jake all day, all night. The essence of America is deaf. It's a deaf culture. How was America established? It was established by the slaughtering and genocide of the Native Americans. So that right there shows you that this place is not a holy place, period. Numbers 35, 33 says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So a foundational piece that is without any vengeance, without any closure, has overcome everything else, all logics. So you have nothing but a place that's filled with death. All right. Habakkuk 2 And the way they think, if they do it on their own, that's fine. It's just like the movie Purge. When the third movie, but was called the first Purge, the study was what would people do if they was given the opportunity, and he had to push that. They had to push things forward for people to do it, and that's what they're doing. They're giving people the opportunities of doing things. All right. That's why when people go to the doctor, if they overweight or bad health, they tell them, "Oh, you're fine," and then you go about your business thinking that, "Oh, the doctor said I'm good," because people have grown so accustomed of listening to the real quacks, these these drug pushers, these witches. The modern day doctor is nothing but a witch. I had family members that been to the hospital, and I remember one particular family member. He had told other family members he don't like going to the hospital because you have these underlings, these undergrads, and then all they doing is just experimenting on people. This is why, beloved bro used to always say it, and everybody else says it. That experience going back and forth to the hospital, they call it what? It's, it's a vampire's castle. They're always drawing blood. They draw blood and they give people experimental drugs. And these experimental drugs, the doctors are getting side piece with money for those drugs. And most doctors, let's say if a doctor really has what's the word I'm looking for? The honor and the integrity of trying to help people. Well, that doctor has to pay a debt back for his rest of his damn near his life. So if a pharmaceutical company saying, look, we'll pay you X amount if you promote this to your patients, obvious reason most people would do it. So we live in a society of corruption where it's all about the bottom dollar. It's not about um, taking care of the people. It's about individuals making money. That's all it's been about. Habakkuk 2 and I believe it's 4. Yet because he transgressed with wine, he is proud. He's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges desire as hell, and is as death. And the point of that is, and is as death. This man, greatest wet dream is desires to take lives, man. Lives. Either people have people. I always bring it up. Spirit, they love people in misery. They feed off of your misery. Just like how they get it, when a prey gets excited before it dies, and you put cut that blood out and let the blood pour out. These people, they don't want the blood to be poured out. They'll eat it just the way it is because it's a certain adrenaline rush that goes through the bloodstream. So these people rather people be in a miserable state, spiritually drained, spiritually vexated. They get a kick out of that. They feed off. They're spiritual vampires. They feed off of our misery. So they must find a way keep to keep people oppressed. All right. They must find a way to keep the people oppressed and feed off of the people. Yeah, people live longer per se because of the fact is they became a cattle. Like Charleston Heston said, you become like cattle, and cattle just not for meat, cattle for your energy. So if everything's death, you are You're just surrounded. And that's why, ooh, I'm gonna just read this real quick. Oh boy, here we go. Slovakia, let me see. Let me get this real quick. I love this one. Matthew, after he came, right? Matthew, there it is. 4:12. Now, when Yahushua heard that John was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee, and leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast in the borders of Zebulun and Naphtali, which is Naphtali. It says, then it said that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Isaiah. That's supposed to be Isaiah, the prophet, saying, the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali by the way of the sea beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people which sat in darkness saw great light, and to them which sat in the region a shadow of death, light is sprung up. So this is the same thing. We out there through the highways and the byways as light in a dark world. And that proved it right there. 2 Corinthians 4. I saw that. No, that's not a 3. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, which is talking about 2/3 of the nation of Israel that can't receive this word. Something is blocking them. That something is the Spirit of the Lord. And it says, in whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Yahushua, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. And reason why it could shine is because we are engulfed in darkness. How can I forget that? So we are in the shadow of death. This is why they have programs for people to do these things. All right. People are not fighting to live. People are fighting just to get by. And then the option, they want you to think of that option. I'm better off dead. All right. And you fall right to their trap. No matter what, however you look at it, is a trap for everybody. You may believe in this. In other words, there's too much people in the world. It's not enough food and all. It's all a trap. It's all a trap, orchestrated by them. It says Isaiah 60:2. It says, "For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people." So darkness is it talking about the sun and the moon not shining on? No, sun and moon is always going to shine. The knowledge, the true light, the light truly is Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is not only found in the lips of the elect. All right, while the rest were blinded. So they play in people's emotions. Because why? People can control their spirit. People are open. I love bringing this out, and I always, you know what? I believe I know what it is. Proverbs. Got it. Proverbs 25:28. He that have no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls, because the walls represent the fortification of your mind. So if you don't control your spirit, you in darkness, you're surrounded by the shadow of death. All right. America is the shadow of death. Everything about this place is death. So now they're letting me know publicly that option is out there. If that option is out there, the weak-minded individual is going to take that option. All right. They don't want people to fight to live. Matter of fact, they do want you to fight to live so they can take you out. But the other option is on the table. This is why his man got to be taken out. All right. Esau needs to be taken out immediately because he is as death. Everything about this man is death. All right. So with that being said, hey, if they do it in New York City, which is the Empire State, which is the headquarters of Babylon, that thing is gonna spread throughout all of America. It's already above us in Canada. It's not gonna be a shocker if it's all over in America. And they might even have commercials stating that you sad, you're depressed, you tried this, you tried that, you just want to give it up. You could do it over here. You know, this man is diabolical in every fucking fashion. Right? With that being said, shalom to the elected nations. Shalom.